Hey, good morning, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to Beyond Charts Morning Brew Show. The trade setup, the playbook for today. This is Angel. I'm your host for today. Welcome. Today is January 3rd, 2022. A lot to cover today, man. What a year. All right, we're ready to start this year. All right, we're looking pretty good. We're looking pretty fabulous. Here I am, guys. All right, so right off the bat, welcome. New year, new playbook, new books. Everybody starts off the same. Everybody's at zero. So, we're all equal at this moment. Now it's time to dissect the markets and let's see if we can get some fire trades, not just for today, but we want to start thinking about the quarter, what to expect, especially down the line for the future, and see what's going down there. So, all right, so let's get to it. Let's get to it. All right, so what I'm going to do right now, we're going to cover basically what's going down in the marketplace right now. So obviously right here, we're looking at Twitter. I mean, Tesla deliveries crushed expectations as we expected. I mean, these guys were totally insane and crushed it. So we're looking pretty fabulous there. These guys were just basically on fire, right? So we got deliveries. We kind of expected that. And I think today is really all about Tesla as far as a mover, right? So we got to look at Tesla, and there's a couple of things that I've actually mentioned yesterday. I posted it. I did a weekly forecast that I'm going to start doing on Sundays. I put it on my Instagram account. I'll give you the link to that. But it's pretty much how to set up the week, right? And what we expected. So in there, I said CMG, NVIDIA, and Tesla are probably the ones that are going to move, and my expectations for the XPX, which I'll cover right now. But right now, what are we looking at? We're looking at basically the market forecast. And here it is it's on my Twitter account. If you want to go in there, link is a video that described basically what to expect for the week. And moving forward, expect this video on Sunday nights every week for the next 51 weeks, because this week is 52 and we got that covered. Now, also what I wanted to cover here right now. So this week, what we have to worry about, one thing right here, and you have to worry about basically, this is the economic calendar for the week. So again, remember the XPX had a hard time breaking above 48.08, and on the bottom is going to be 47.43. I think that's the range. 47.40 is where we broke out, and I think that's probably where it's going to head to next. Now, anything is possible, and again, what we do here, I'm not predicting where it's going to go. I'm just telling you where the price action is and the range is going, right? So we identify where the buyers and sellers are at, or whatever you want to call it, supply and demand. So now, on Wednesday at 2 o'clock, the FOMC meeting minutes, it's about to be released. Now, I believe that the market is going to dissect that news, because remember, they're going to dissect the last meeting with Powell, and they're going to try to look for anything, right? So is Powell going to raise interest rates faster or sooner? Is a tapering going to happen? Remember, there's no tapering that happened. That's why the market went up higher. So again, and I think that the other news that we're going to be looking at is these unemployment rate or change in non-farm payrolls. So basically, here's the mentality on this, how to read this. Okay, so real simple. If the job report or the non-farm payroll comes lower, right? So they haven't been putting enough jobs. The market's going to translate that possibly into, hey, we have another month, 2 months. We have some time before that tapering happens. Okay, so maybe the market can react positive towards that information. How would you know? Look at 48.08, and that could be possibly a signal that we're going to break higher. Okay, remember, just look at that level. That's why I'm giving you the levels. Now, if the market, if the job reports comes higher than expected, then that means that people are coming back to work, people are making money, and now the market can basically, taper faster, raise interest rates, and it'll give the signal to the market that it could happen faster, and we could probably head lower. So again, I expect a lot of volatility entering into the marketplace. We also have the brand new year, fresh quarter, and there should be some rotation occurring, right? So I think sit back and wait to see where the rotation happens, but we're going to see money moving around a lot this week. So again, watch. This is the report that we're looking at. As far as, and I guess, let me see if I can go here. And this is basically the key ones you have to look at. Manufacturing numbers on Tuesday, the minutes on Wednesday, and then the jobless came on Thursday, and then on Friday, unemployment rate. Okay, so these are the ones you're gonna have to look at, and those are key. As far as earnings, there's not really anything on the earnings front this week. I think that basically we might want to look at what Beyond Bed Bath and Beyond has to say as a clue to what the state of the economy is. Okay, so how is inflation hurting them? How is the supply chain? Remember, we're talking about any clues that has affected the marketplace, like supply chains, like chip shortages. Are they getting better? Are they getting worse? Remember, we want to look for key keywords to make sure to identify what state are we in. As far as the Barron's, it's pretty quiet, as far as the news media. Let me see if I can find it here. Futures are up slightly, but there's not really much going down here. They're talking about the stocks of the year. What's been on the news all week, which I've noticed, Amazon is back on the news. They're kind of, propping this thing up as a darling. The problem with Amazon is that the Bezos keeps selling it every quarter. So, it's really difficult for that stock to be explosive when you have, one of the key founders selling an enormous amount of shares, on a regular quarterly basis. And not just him, but his wife as well, or his ex-wife. So things you want to be considered here. We also talked about, but I think today is just really going to be about a few stocks today that I see setting up nicely. So let's dive into that. And this is what we're going to do. So remember, here at the Beyond Charts, we start off with the same process over and over again. And pretty simple, guys. Okay, so we want to simplify this process for you and make this as easy. So we're just basically sharing you the playbook of what we do on a daily basis. And remember, repetition is the mother of all learning. And this is how you can set up your trades properly. So off the bat, what are we going to do? We're going to be looking at the XPX and the XPX as far as the indices. All right. So what are the indices telling us? So on Barron's, if I go back here, Barron's futures are at 47.84. 16 futures on Nasdaq is 16,432, and the Dow. I don't really look at the Dow because it has 30 stocks. Some people do. I don't. I rather look at the XPX as a barometer of the overall markets. Now, where we're at, okay, so let's look at this. On the XPX, we went higher. Now, we went higher on low volume, okay? So if it's volume going to pick up. Now, the other thing I might want to add, globally, the markets are not fully open. Remember, globally, a lot of people take today as a holiday, as an extension of New Year's Day. So we're not going to be 100% operational. Tomorrow, we're going to be 100% operational globally. Okay, so there will be more and more liquidity today, but we want to sit back and wait and see which way we go. And what I mean by 48.08, it's right there. If we start breaking higher, then this means it's going to pop, and we're going to, now remember, this swing is still going. It still can go higher. We're still looking bullish on the top side. It kind of looks like it's tapering off a little bit, and it looks like it probably wants us to retest that breakout point. So let it pull back, let it do its thing. We're going to open right at the top of Friday's close, or at the top of Friday's highs. So 47.87, what happens there? Again, just sit back and wait. Now, could we sell off into Powell on Wednesday? That is a possibility, or they're going to take it up. So think about that for a second. Think about it. Do you think the market... Is somebody, if they take it up, then somebody knows something, right? So again, that's why we look at price action. Price action reveals everything, right? And that's why we look at it. So if somebody knows something, then the market's going to act very positive. But at this moment, my thinking, and remember, this is an opinion, has nothing to do with price action. Looking at this, if we start working our way lower, 47.43, we start breaking that, then that's telling me that the market's really preparing itself for some unknown in Powell's speech or Powell's minutes on Wednesday, okay, or some numbers coming in. But expect volatility. Again, I would like it to see pullback a little bit. It'll be healthy for a pullback, right? But overall, across the board, when I'm scanning this morning, I'm not seeing anything robust except with a few, okay? And I think today is going to be all about Tesla. As far as the Nasdaq, let it pull back. It try to break higher. And by the way, this is the second time in the last 5 years, I believe, that the S&P has gone over 20% or 25% or something like that. It's remarkable. It's great. Now on the Nasdaq, we're seeing a little weaker MACD. Still bullish here, but if this thing starts crossing here, then we're probably going to head to that 50-day moving average, both on the XPX and the Nasdaq. Now the Russell, think about the Russell. The Russell is right there. If it starts pulling back, then if it starts pulling back, then basically you're going to be here. Watch this level right here on the Russell in case anything happens. For a clue, right? If we start breaking higher, you're going to see this break through. You're going to see us break the 4808, and you're going to see the Nasdaq break a little higher. But Nasdaq looks a lot weaker than both of them. Now the Russell is holding steady, so anything can happen. Now if the Russell starts breaking like above this zero bounce on the MACD, then it's telling me that the momentum is shifting, and it could possibly break that 50-day moving average. Okay, if it doesn't, now also on the Russell, keep note that that green line right here is also the 200-day moving average. Pretty significant. So you have two headwinds right there. You have the 200-day moving average, and you have the 50-day moving average right above it. So again, wouldn't go super long on Russell until we can break that, because those are major headwinds. Okay, so watch that, but anything's possible. Let's check in. Now let's dive into the XPX. Here we're looking at, and now this is what I was talking to you about, was in the range for last week. For the range for the XPX, and you can see it in the volatility, right, is that we were, think about this. Volatility died down last week because the range got smaller than compared to the last couple of weeks. Now these boxes, the bigger boxes, that's the weekly range, right? And the smaller boxes, that's the daily range. So when we look at the weekly range, look how big the previous weekly ranges were compared to last week on low volume. Now, it is setting up on the hourlies, and that's what we're looking at the XPX, right? If the XPX can come here, bounce off 0, right? And then bounce off the 50, that's ideal where we like to take the trades. However, going into Powell, do you suspect that is going to hold? Are they going to run it up? Possibly. Right now, we are going to open up near the highs of the close of yesterday, which was around 47.87. Is it going to hold, or is it going to stumble and come down? Now, ideally, I would like to see it come down, because then it set up a lot. We set up better trades than we are right now, and that would be ideal. But watch that, because if the overall market starts going down, it's probably going to bring everything down with it. So watch that for a clue. 4808 is there, and watch that 4732 on the bounce side, and the 4743 was the breakout point. If the MACD starts breaking lower, we're probably going to head lower to the bottom levels. Okay, so watch that. On the 50-minute time frame, again, we're too far away from the 50. We are going to open up right at that 50-day moving average. So watch that there. Now, let me look at the VIX, because the VIX, I kind of skipped through it. The VIX, now look at the VIX. The VIX is a measurement of fear. And I'm going to make this bigger for you guys, because I want you to see and how you can take this amazing tool and utilize it for your own trading. Okay, so the VIX, most people think the VIX is, could be a little scary, but it's not. If you know how to use it correctly, it can be enlightening. So let's watch that. All right, so what are we looking at here? This is the range. This is the hourly range. And when I look at the VIX, I'm looking at the VIX to see, is volatility, is fear entering into the marketplace? Is it coming out of the marketplace? What's going down with the VIX? So real simple. As you can tell, I create these boxes. It came from, not necessarily, but I got the inspiration from Nicholas Darvis' theories, the box theory, right? So basically what I do, just real quickly, for my eyes, I can identify where the levels are at, if I'm going to enter or enter in a long position or short position. And I want to know if fear is entering into the marketplace or leaving. As you can tell, the boxes are, they're very wide, number one. So that's telling me that there's a lot of, unknowns. People are reacting, a lot of reaction, a lot of emotion into the marketplace, right? But as you can tell, last week, in the last compare weeks, compared to fear has been dying down. Now, we're in a very interesting moment right here. This is a basing pattern. Now, right now, the market's just chilling, holding steady, but going into Powell, let's see what happens. If they start seeing or sensing something unknown, we start breaking above 1944, just notice that we're probably going to head lower, and the market's going to react fearfully, meaning we're going to head down. So I have that. Now I do have the alert compared set up for last Friday's high, which, you know, a little fear came into the marketplace. But again, 18.29 is going to alert me that we're probably going to head lower. And I'm going to use this as maybe get into a short position or put position on the XPX, or maybe do a spread trade on top and do any sort of trade that's going to be bearish short term when it starts breaking up higher. Now, if we start breaking lower, start going to lower days, then guess what? That 48.08 is going to be tested, possibly maybe broken. Real simple. All right, so that's how we take the VIX. Now, as far as and it looks like the VIX could, you know, the MACDs could pop up a little bit, and it's probably going to retest that, which is expected. Now, you got the Treasury Notes. Look at the Treasury Notes. Like, they've been creeping up compared to last week. I don't have boxes on here, but you can use that as boxes as well. But right off the bat, and if you're going to do boxes on here, I would probably recommend do it like maybe on a monthly basis, because this doesn't move as much. But on a monthly basis, you can see, is the notes going higher or lower? But right now they're going higher. So if this starts going higher, then basically, you know, 1.687, that could be possibly something that, remember, if this starts going higher, the techs don't like that, and we can probably see a bigger pullback in tech. So that's something you're going to be looking at. I have my alert there. I don't look at this I don't constantly look at this on a, you know, I look at it every day, obviously. I don't look at this, you know, consistently throughout the day. I have my alerts there, but it's right there, something that you need to be kind of conscious of. All right, so let's dive in. Let's find out where the momentum trades are. All right, so overall, what are we looking at here? Now, this is my playbook, guys. If you can know, if you can be with me, we do the same things over and over again. Look, we trade movers. That's what I trade. You can use this in any time frame, right? Any time frame you can utilize this. I just choose using the 50-minute time frame, and then I'm going to show you how, at the end, how I actually set up my trades, right? So this 15 time frame, I'm just kind of looking up for a proper setup, and I'm ideally looking for something here. Now the XPX, we know it's going to open up there at 47.87 if we open up right now. Okay, so we're going to see what happens there. The MACDs are probably going to open up. Is it going to go higher? Is it going to hold steady? That might be setting up for some move. Okay, but I don't think, you know, I won't get the setup right now. Nasdaq open up a little higher as well. Russell open up a little higher. Now, as far as Google, because now I'm getting the pre-market action on Google. Google, you know, it's holding steady, but notice the range on Google, and I shared this with you in yesterday. Now let me look at Google here, and I'm going to look at Google, and this is actually the setup that I have when I'm going to pick and choose a stock that I want to trade. I want to look at it from a different perspective. So I'm looking at it from the daily perspective. You don't need to harbor on this, okay? But I'm also looking at the hourlies, and I'm also looking at the 15-minute time frame. Now, why am I looking at it? Because I'm looking for the highest probability trade. Now, as you can tell, Google is right at that 50-day moving average. The MACDs is right there. So we like it ideally in a perfect scenario on Google. Now, if Google can hold that 50-day moving average, then it looks pretty good. Now, pre-market, we open up very, very high. So it is going to bounce. Pre-market's right there at that 29.08, right? 29.08. So we are going to open up a little higher, and we could bounce. So right there, if we're going to get a fresh set of momentum swing right here, that could possibly maybe be a start to Google moving, right? Now, we do need some follow through. As far as the hourlies, as you can tell, Google is, where's the pre-market action on Google? It's right at that 29.08. So we're right there. We're at that 29.08. As you can tell, if the MACD start turning, maybe we're going to head up to that, 50-day moving average. Now, the 50-day is going to come down, so watch that as a level of supply. On the 15-minute time frame, we're still open. We're probably going to open up right there, 29.16. Really simple. The MACDs are telling me it's probably going to head up there. What happens there? Does it break through? We don't know. But again, they're going to be key levels on Google. So right there, this is how we measure the setup trades on Google. We know we're going to open up there. What happens at that 50-day? Okay. Now, Amazon, again, there's a lot of buzz around Amazon all week long, right? A lot of buzz. And let's see. Again, I don't know how the market's going to react to this, but on Amazon, we're going to be looking at that 33.87 and that 33.30. Those are the levels. If it starts bouncing, and it looks like it's probably going to open up higher, but 33.88, 87 is going to be pretty strong. That's where we sold off on Friday. Are they going to take it down or up? And the MACDs look like it wants to break out. Now, anything's possible. Could it run all day? I don't know. But the one that could run is this one. And I want to spend a little time here with Tesla. So on Tesla, it took out all my, key levels that we were looking at for a breakout, right? Took out 1100, 1119, as you can tell, right? So 1119 was a key level. If you've been watching me all week long, we're saying 1119, 1100, broke out. And we took not just one, we took both of them out. So, okay, do we want to chase this one right now? As you can tell, no, right? The MACDs look like it's a pullback, and this is why we're not going to chase it at this moment. I don't like it 1133. Now, this could run, or they're going to take it down. Now, let's see, because I think I like this one for a trade for today, and I'm going to set this one up. Now, because if you believe there's going to be a day 2, right, on Tesla, then that means that's going to run tomorrow too, right? So let's take a look at it. Now, Tesla, we set it up right there. It's at the 50-day moving average. The MACDs are going to bounce. It bounces. It's going higher, right? So we know we're going to open up here. The MACDs are going to be high, right? So now on the dailies, depending where we're at, if it's fairly, the momentum already started, it's already going, it looks like more likely it can go to 1175. We have, that's broken out. We have this level here, 1170, somewhere in there that could take it out. And then can it take high of year, or all-time highs, not high of year, because it's a new year. But, so again, on the hourlies, this morning, I asked you, it was pre-market. This is the trade that we like to take. Is it going to keep running? Now, on the 15-minute time frame, so we can capture this trade if you want. So right now, we're looking at weakness. I think that maybe because this thing ran up, there probably should be a little bit of a sell-off. Now, how low is it going to go? Let's see. So we're going to be looking at the MACDs and seeing how low, because people are going to lock in some gains. How low can it go? Maybe 1120, maybe that 1119, right? That's where we broke out before. So again, key areas that we're looking at, and I don't have the boxes here, but can it go back to this 1119, 1120 area, come back there and maybe start working its way higher? So that's the key levels I'm going to be watching on Tesla for a trade. So again, and what am I looking at? It could also go back down to 1100. So keep that in mind. So depending how, it's going to be scary if it pulls back. But if it pulls back to that, and I mean 1100, because this 50-day moving average is going to come up, right? And it's probably going to meet somewhere in the middle. If it comes back up here, the MACD starts rolling. Give us an entry there, then that is possibly an entry on Tesla. And if Tesla runs, it can run all day, possibly. And if it has a day 2, maybe it can hit that higher year from yesterday. So you have some trades there. That's what I'm looking at personally on Tesla. Now, as far as ISRG, again, working his way higher, we're right there. CMG, I like CMG a lot. If you watch that, I gave you the market broadcast yesterday. This is one that I was looking at. I do like CMG quite a bit. They just came out with a vegan burrito or something like that. It just came out, plant-based something burrito. Now here's CMG. CMG is right there. It's at the 50 pre-market action. I don't have it yet. Let me see what the pre-market here is. Pre-market, yeah, I'm not getting the pre-market action yet, but I do like CMG. It's holding that 50-day moving average. The MACDs are looking good, above 0. I think this one can do well for an earnings play. As far as playing it, let's take a look at it on the 15-minute time frame, on the hourlies. The hourly looks a little weaker, right? Let's see if it can regain that 50. Let it do its thing. It's probably going to consolidate. It's consolidating here. And there was another news article very favorable towards CMG. So watch CMG as a potential trade moving forward into the quarter of Q1 2022 for a earnings play. So I do like that one. Now, as far as, let me go back here. We got CMG covered. Let's go into, now we're at 855. So we're running a little late. Now, LRCX working its way higher. So this week, there was a big article on Barron's. It's all about the chips. I've been telling you this all week long. Like last month, 2022 could be be the year of the chips, right? So it's all about chips, chips. Watch LRCX. It can probably go higher. And the other one I was looking at was ASML. So again, Goldman Sachs, just, we got to see how the market reacts. If we start taking out the highs of Goldman Sachs, Netflix not looking good. Let it do its thing. So just watch it. As far as Roku below, NVIDIA is one that I'm looking at. So is NVIDIA going to run? So again, if we look at NVIDIA, and we talked about this last night too. NVIDIA is right there at that 50. If this thing starts turning, maybe this is going to start running. Now, we don't know if it's going to run yet. Pre-market action is looking pretty solid, right? On the 50-minute time frame, NVIDIA needs to take out a number, and I got it here. And the number NVIDIA needs to take out, these headwinds up here. So how do we know if this is real or not? We're going to see if NVIDIA can take out that 305. Okay, so 305, if it can take it out today, if it can take it out in the first 30 minutes, first hour of today's open, then possibly that could run, and it could run maybe to a high of year. And I'm going to share that with you. So if you can take out these levels right here, 305, 313 is another level that we have to look for. But right now, pre-market is at 298. So 305, 313, if we start taking out, we're going to probably head to 335. And that could be something to look for possibly for a trade. Okay, what else do we have here? NVIDIA Mercado Libre, just setting up, again, watch it at that 1368. I like this. If this thing starts shifting, this has been a sleeper. It's been running, guys. So in the market, it's been running, looking pretty good. So watch that possibly for a move. Apple, again, sitting there, 177, 179. If it can take it down, 179. But right now, pre-market is looking a little weaker. So watch it right there. Trade desk. Right there. Let's see. Anything can happen. $94 to get it better. What else do we have? Shopify. Shopify look for 1405 to the upside if it goes. A firm looking. There's some possible movement on a firm. 105. Don't like the company, but if it moves, we trade it. So 105 to get it better, 107 to really get it going. Upstart, if it starts moving, check out that 157 because it has 162 on top. So that's a mover and it got some points there. On the bottom, it starts breaking down. It's going to go to 150. So 4 points, take out that, it's going to probably head lower. HubSpot working its way lower. Zoom working its way lower, but there is momentum heading upside. So what's going to happen at that 50? This is a good trade for the downside, right? So if the market starts reacting negatively, then, because this has been downtrending, right? So Zoom, if it comes up here, bounces up, starts rolling over, and it hits the 50, breaking that lower end of 183, 182, it can probably start heading lower. So Zoom probably is one. Booking, another one just holding steady, like it's just having inside day. I think something big is going to happen there. Look for 2417 and look for 2382 for a breakout either way. All right, so let me jump here. What do we have here? All right, so something changed here. All right, let me see. All right, so these are the chips, guys. So real quick, I think these are going to do well. ASML try to rally. Again, I like ASML. If it's going to hold that 800, I think this one could run into earnings. So keep that on the horizon. I think this one's going to do very, very well for us. Just watch it. AMD still holding steady. Nothing really on the horizon front here. So overall, what I'm looking at for the overall markets, like I said, there's not really any possibly setups for the upside, right? Unless the XPX starts breaking through. Ideally, I would like the XPX to pull back, and then I think that these beautiful things are going to set up nicely. So the only ones that I kind of liked were NVIDIA and Tesla for a possible move today. Tesla definitely for the move. I think today is going to be all about Tesla. All eyes on Tesla. And here's the thing about Tesla is that if Tesla starts moving, money's going to come out of Google, Amazon, everybody else, and going into Tesla. So that's why I'm all eyes on Tesla right now. So watch that for a move. Rivian just kind of holding steady. Now, all right, so that's kind of covered. And let me look at Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, again, MicroStrategy Bitcoin, I covered Bitcoin at T, and again, I talked to a very good friend of mine yesterday. He is a long-term trader, so I'm going to dissect it from a long-term trader. This he looks at monthlies, right? He's done extremely well, fabulous trader. But again, when I'm looking at monthlies, again, same type of premise, right? So we look for supply areas, demand areas. So there is supply areas right at that 69, 70, and clearly, right? There's supply, right? A lot of people are selling off their supply. And there's demand right at that 30,000 on the monthlies. Now, these are 30-day candles, guys. So again, what I like here, this is a nice setup. Now, we should get a bounce here. Right, so not looking at the MACDs, but we should get a bounce. Now, how do we know we get a bounce? It needs to break above that 48, above this candlestick, this last December's candlestick. That's a bounce. Now, you're not going to know that for 30 days, so, we won't know. But if we start breaking lower, right, and that's going to give us a clue, and then the MACDs are going to turn, tells the momentum is probably going to shift, heading lower. So anything can happen. This is on a monthly perspective. If I look at it from a weekly perspective, guys, normally when I see three candles like this on the 50, it's holding as being resilient, but it's not bouncing, right? So it kind of tells me that the optimism that once was there isn't there, despite of anything you're reading. Now, it could still bounce, but look where the MACDs are going. They're going lower. It's telling me that optimism isn't there. Now, there are people that are fighting for it, right? But who's going to win? The bears are definitely showing their presence right there. So watch when the MACDs come to zero. Now, these candlesticks are going to be 7 days, okay? Not weeklies, or not daily, not weekly, 7 days. But if we start breaking down, now this is going to be the demand area when we look at the dailies. And this is why I drew this box here. This is the demand area. This candlestick is a lot of demand. Now, right here, what's going to happen? We start breaking down. We're going to be in this demand area. And what happens? We start breaking below. We're probably going to at risk of hitting that 30,000 target. So pretty simple. We're still in this range. Anything can happen. We're below the 200 and just watch it. Anything above 52 is going to break the 50 and we're going to work our way higher. MicroStrategy follows Bitcoin. And again, Ethereum much weaker, still kind of in this, don't like the price action here. So if you don't like it, it's just it's like very whipsaw. We don't know which way it's going to go, but it came out of the demand area, which is good. Now, what happens at that 50-day moving average? That's another story. All right, guys. So let me get into the comments. Yes, good morning, JDH. Good morning to you guys. Happy New Year. It's going to be an amazing New Year. I'm looking forward to getting started. Everybody's at zero. Doc, what's up, Doc? Okay, hey, I finished both those books. What's your next book? Amazing. There is a book out there. Let me see, man. All right, so you got, Reminiscence of a Stock Operator. You got Nicholas Darvis. There's another book out there that it's hard to get. It's one of the a really, really great book. Let me see if I can find it. I'll tell you what, I'm gonna find it for tomorrow, and I'll have that for you. But yeah, great book. I just started reading Reminiscence of a Stock Operator. It's a ritual that I do every new year. I actually listen to it. It just kind of helps me, I do it every year. Just kind of helps me solidify the theories and the mindset of it. All right. What else you got? Boxer presented and that How I Made $2 Million is interesting. Seeing like can coincide with modern support resistance was a fun read. Yeah, it's really good and it's a great way to actually integrate it into. Again, the thing about trading is that it's very I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday. When you do technical analysis, if you're not really keep it simple, you can make anything out of any chart, any line. So this is why I use very minimum. I just look for key levels of demand, suppliers. That's one you got to identify, and then identify the trend. We know that, OPAF leads back to the 50. You need to know key levels, 200-day. Look at from different time frames so you won't get blindsided by anything that you didn't see. But that's it, guys. But I mean, moving forward, I think I like Tesla right here. Let me see. Oh, no, that's my trading view. Where's Tesla? I do like NVIDIA. I'm looking for the NVIDIA price action, see what happens there. But I do like the Tesla. I would like to see it pull back a little bit. It is 904 right now. So again, I mean, they just killed it. They just destroyed the delivery numbers. So, and the reason why I like Tesla, guys, here's the thing. I'm looking for a mover. I'm looking for something that could possibly move, 20, 50 points in a day. I think this one has the potential for that, and not just that, it can probably maybe move all week on day twos. Now, the only concern I have is, again, like I said, those macroeconomic numbers and the XPX, because if this starts rolling down, it's think about this as the overall big kahuna wave, right? If this starts rolling down, it's going to drag a lot of the other stocks with it, so it's going to limit its potential power. So there's a few. Tesla's could be an exception, but watch Tesla. You never know. But I'm watching this one as a hawk and just seeing, because remember, they're still going to be rotating and we're not operating at 100% capacity. So we got those things. All right, guys. Any other questions, answers? Let me see. All right. So I think that so what I decided to do for the morning market, what I decided to do, if you guys want to continue, I'm gonna do the market pulse. If you guys have been following, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna change things up a little bit. So I'm gonna do it on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 12 o'clock. So put that in your calendars, and then we'll do the follow up of these trades. Just on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I also have a couple of things cooking up as well. So again, I have a lot of things locking up. So I know that a lot of people are struggling with money management and again, entries on momentum trades and TA. So I'm actually starting some big things. I'm going to start something probably in February. I'll keep you guys posted. And then another friend of mine told me, so, hey, if you want it, what's a good way? If you guys are interested in supporting this channel, you don't have to. Just being here is enough support. But if you want to, there's a buy me coffee link there if you want. It's only $5. If not, not a big deal. But I enjoy your support. Thank you guys for tuning in. And again, so let's go get it. It's 9:06. And again, I think today is all about Tesla, baby. All right, let's see if it goes. If it goes, we're gonna rock it. All right, good way to start the year. All right, go out there, go get it, and stay green. All right, thank you so much. I'll see you guys tomorrow. All right, bye.